So today we're going to be understanding control flow. Inside control flow, we're going to be understanding if, else statement, switch statement, and loops. So let's get started. So first of all, let's have a basic understanding what is control flow. So control flow allows us to make decisions in our code and execute certain parts based on conditions or repeat certain tasks using loops. So this is control flow. So let's get started. So the first one, what we're going to be understanding today is if-else statement. If-else statement. Why we use it? To make decisions in our program. If a condition is true, do one thing, otherwise do something else. So this is if-else statement. If it's true, it's going to do if, it's going to print the if statement. If it's not, if it's false, then it's going to print the else statement. So what does it do? It checks a condition, example number is less than 5, and if the condition is true, it executes the code inside the if block. If the condition is false, it executes the code inside the else block. I hope you understood this. So we're going to be understanding if else statement through an example. So the example would be check if a number is even or odd. We could just add a comment over here and we could just say check if the number is even or odd. We wanna check this out if the number is even or odd. So let's get started with our HTML code. First of all, we'll go in the file and we'll just save this file as save as. We'll go in videos and over here I'll just save this as index.html. So inside this, I'm going to be writing my HTML code. So first of all, we're going to be opening our boilerplate inside. Inside the title, I'll just be telling today that what are we learning. So I'll just say, okay, today we're going to be learning if-else statement. We're going to be learning all, but right now we're going to be learning if-else statement. So inside the body tag, we're going to be adding a header in h1. We'll say, okay, if else example, because I'm just writing an example, I'm making an example right now. So what was the example? I'll let you know again. Check if a number is even or odd. We just want to check if the number is even or not. It's going to be making a web page. Inside that, they're going to be telling, okay, this is an even function, this is an odd function. I'll add word wrap over here, alt Z. So over here, after this h1, I'll be writing a paragraph over here, and I'll just say enter a number to check if it is even or odd, and I'll be closing this bracket like this, and I'm gonna be writing a colon over here. So over here I'll be entering an input type. Over here, I'm gonna be in the input type, I'm gonna be adding a number, and after this I'll be adding an ID, and ID is gonna be number input, so we could input numbers inside. I'll be saying input number, and after that I'll be adding a placeholder. Inside the placeholder, I'll just say enter a number, and we'll close this bracket accordingly. So after this, we're going to be putting a button on click. It's going to be working on click, and over here I'll just say check even odd. This is a function check even or odd, and we'll just close this bracket. We'll be opening these brackets, and we're going to be closing this button bracket accordingly, and over here I'll just say check. The button's going to be written check. So after this function, I'll be adding a paragraph over here, and the paragraph is going to be an ID paragraph over here. In the paragraph, it's going to be telling the result accordingly, so what the result is going to be, and we're going to be closing the paragraph. And this is how we're going to be writing it. So after writing all of this, I could add a script tag over here, inside which we're going to be writing our JavaScript in script. We could write in our script tag the JavaScript. So for making an even or an odd number, so we're going to be writing a check. We're going to be saying function check even or odd. We want to check if it's even or odd. We're going to be opening these brackets, and we're going to be opening this bracket accordingly. So over here we're going to be saying, okay, constant numbers, we want to add constant numbers. Over here we'll add equal to parse in. Over here in the bracket I'm going to be writing document get element by ID. So after this, yeah, so I'm going to be opening another bracket over here, and I'll just say number input, and after this bracket we'll do a dot, and we'll add value over here. So we're going to be closing this bracket accordingly. So after this we'll add a semicolon over here. So this is going to be add a constant number over here. So after that we'll add another constant, and over here it's going to be constant result element. After that we'll add equal to, and over here we'll just say document dot get element by ID. Another, we're going to be writing get element by ID, and over here we'll be telling, okay, we want to be displaying the results inside of here, the result. After this we'll add a semicolon over here. We'll go in the next line. Over here we'll add an if statement. Inside we're going to be saying is nan num. We'll be displaying the number, and yeah, these brackets have been closed by itself. We'll open another bracket over here, and over here we're going to be telling, okay, the result element text content, and over here we're going to be writing the what we want to be displaying. So on our web page we'll say, please enter a valid number. Over here we'll do full stop. We'll close the brackets did close. After this we'll add a semicolon over here because we're using JavaScript over here. After this I'll add a return function, add a semicolon over here. We'll close this bracket. The brackets did close. After this we'll be writing another function over here. Inside that we're going to be saying if number percentage is true, is going to be strictly equal to 0 0. We'll be opening another bracket over here, and over here we're going to be saying result element, we'll say text content equal to over here. We'll open a bracket over here, and over here we're going to be writing the dollar sign, and over here we're going to be saying the number is an even number. It's going to be telling it accordingly. Whatever we're going to be add, it's going to be telling it by itself is if it's an even number or it's an odd number. So we'll just add a full stop over here. Bracket's going to be closing accordingly. We'll add a semicolon over here, and the same thing we're going to be writing. After this we'll say, okay, if it's an even number, it's going to be saying, okay, it's an even number. Or if it's not, we'll write else. We'll write the else statement because we're having an example of if else. If it's going to be even number, it's going to be printing this statement. Else, if it's not even number, it's going to be printing this statement. Inside we're going to be writing the result element, same like we'll say text content, and after that we'll be writing the equal to sign, and the same thing, this dollar sign, and over here we're going to be writing the number is an odd number. So it's going to be understanding, okay, it's an odd number. If it's an odd number, it's going to print the else statement. So we're going to be closing these brackets accordingly and everything closed accordingly. And we see that the script tag, these script tags, we'll just remove the spaces over here. The script tag, body tag, and HTML is going to be closing accordingly. So now we're going to be checking out, we're going to be executing it, and we're going to be running it on our web page, and let's see what's the problem. How is it going to be doing accordingly. So let's save our file, and let's go in the file explorer. We'll reveal it in file explorer, and now let's see what have we created. This is so amazing. It's an if else example. I wrote this in H1. Then in the paragraph, I wrote enter a number to check if it's even or odd. Now it's saying enter a number. I'll enter a number 10 and let's check if it's even or odd. It's going to be telling 10 is an even number. Now I'll add a number which is 9. I'll say check it. It's gonna say 9 is an odd number. Now I could write any number over here and it's gonna tell if it's even or odd. It's gonna be telling 9666666 is an even number, and we could even use this scroll bar. We could go down, we could go all the way up. Now I'll say check. Now it's saying this is an even number too. I'll go one down and saying it's an odd number. So this is how we're gonna be making an even or an odd number checker. It's going to check if it's an even or odd number through if else statement. So I hope you understood this. So we're going to go back in our code, and now let's understand switch case. So I'll just write switch case over here. So okay, switch case, why we use it. When you have multiple possible outcomes based on single values, switch is cleaner and more efficient than many if-else statements. So like if there's multiple statements, multiple values, so you could just use switch case, which is going to be cleaner and it's going to be more efficient, because like if you keep on writing more values, if-else statements going to get messed up, and like there's going to be so many statements over there. What does it do? It makes a value with one of its case condition, and if none match, it evaluates the default block. So to understand this switch case, we're going to be having an example in that we're going to be displaying a day of the week based on the numbers. So like we're going to be saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and inside that we're going to be inputting all of these days, and then we're going to be saying, okay, now I'm going to be saying what's the 5th day or what's the 4th day of the week. It's going to be telling, okay, this is Thursday. I'll say what's the 5th day of the week. It's going to say, okay, it's Friday. It's going to be telling it all by itself. We're just going to be giving it a condition once. This is a switch case. So we're going to be opening our boilerplate over here. Inside the title, we're going to be telling, okay, this is a switch example. I'll be telling this is a switch example over here, and inside the body we're going to be adding an h1, adding one, and inside I'll just write switch example again because I just want to be showing it on my web page. So after that we'll add a paragraph, and inside the paragraph I'll say enter a number, or I'll just say 1 to 7, not 17, 1 to 7 because there's 7 days in a week, to get a day of the week. So this is how we're going to be doing it, and I'll add a colon over here, so because we write this in English grammar. I can zoom this a little in, so we could go down, and over here we're going to be adding an input statement. I'll just say input type. It's super simple. I hope you understood why we use this, because like we keep on using this. We'll say input type number, over here id, and the id I'll say day input. So after that I'll add a placeholder. In the placeholder I'll just say enter a number. In the bracket I'll just say 1 to 7. After this we'll close this bracket accordingly. So this is the input type. So after that, we'll just say button on click, button on click, button on click, and I'll just say get day in the bracket. I'll be closing this, and over here I'll be saying get day. This is going to be written on the button. So below this, I'll be writing a paragraph. One second. I'll just open the paragraph and I'll just say, okay, paragraph ID day result. We'll be closing this, and yeah, we'll close this bracket. So after this, I'll add a script tag. In the script tag, one second. Yeah, in the script tag, I'll be adding the main function. So I'll be saying, okay, function get day. We'll be opening this bracket and opening this bracket. So now we're going to be saying, okay, constant day, and now we're going to be adding the same thing, parse input int input int, and inside this we're going to be saying, okay, document get element by ID. Then after this we'll add another bracket over here and we'll say day input, and day input, after that we'll add a dot, and I'll just say value. So we're going to be closing all of these brackets accordingly, and we're going to be adding a semicolon inside. The basic function is really simple. So after that, we'll be adding another constant. We'll be doing the same thing. We'll just say result element. Result element. After that, I'll add a bracket equal to sign. After that, I'll say document dot get element by ID. After that, in the bracket, I'll be saying day result. Yeah, I'll add a semicolon over here, and then I'll also say let day name, add semicolon over here, and afterwards this I'll just say switch day. In a bracket I'll just say switch day. In the switch day I'll be writing, okay, case 1 semicolon over here, no, colon, sorry, colon over here, case 1 colon over here. Now we'll just be repeating the same thing for all of the 7 statements. So I'll just say day name equal to, and over here in the bracket, yeah, in the bracket, in these columns I'll say Monday. I'll add a semicolon over here, and after that I'll just say break. If it's not this, we'll break the function and we'll go to down. So this is gonna be all accordingly, same semicolon. Why is arguments coming? So over here I'll just be writing day name we're gonna be doing it same like this. Add semicolon over here, we'll write a break over here, case 3 over here, just say day name Wednesday, add a semicolon over here, so break semicolon. After this I'll add case 4 day name equal to Thursday over here, semicolon over here, break semicolon, below that case 5 colon, and after that day name, over here we'll be telling, okay, Friday is the 5th day of the week. Semicolon. Over here we're going to be writing break this function. No, semicolon. After this I'll be writing case 6, day name, Saturday, break. Now the last one, the case 7th. In this case 7, we're going to be telling the last day of the week. Day name is Sunday. So we added all of these days accordingly. So after that, we're going to be telling, okay, default. We'll add a default. And the default, we're going to be saying, okay, day name. 1 second. Day name equal to 1 second. Equal to, we're going to be saying invalid over here. Invalid day name. Invalid day number. So in this name in the default one, we're going to be saying, okay, if a number is going to be out of this, we're going to be saying invalid day name, please enter 1 to 7. Because there's 7 days in a week. If someone just adds 10 inside, it's not going to be running accordingly. It's just going to be crashing. So we're going to be saying enter a valid number. So he knows, okay, he entered a wrong number. So after that, we're going to be closing the bracket. We'll add a semicolon inside. Then we'll close this bracket accordingly. So after this, we'll add another thing. We'll just say result element text content. And over here, we're going to be saying after the text content equal to day name, because we're keep on entering day name inside and everything. We're going to be talking about day name. Then we're going to be closing this bracket accordingly, and this extra script tags will be closing all of these extra script tags like this. So now we can save it and we could check what have we created on our web page. So now let's save it, go back in our web page, and now let's refresh it. And now it's going to say switch example, enter a number 1 to 7 to get a day of the week. Now I'll say over here 5th. 5th is going to be, should be Friday. I'll be get day over here and Friday is going to be written. I'll go 1 day up, it's going to be Saturday. We'll go 2, it's going to be saying Tuesday. Now I'll go 19, it said invalid day number, please enter 1 to 7. So this is how we're going to be making our switch example, and we're going to be displaying 7 days of a week accordingly. So now the last function is going to be loops, and now we're going to be understanding loop function. You could have a look of this code as well. If you have any sort of question, any sort of doubt, you could feel free to comment down below. If you need the code, you could comment down below. We'll be providing you with this code. So everything's going to be happening like that. So yeah, now we're going to be understanding loops. So okay, there are 3 types of loops. One is for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So first of all, let's discuss for loop. So for loop is used when you know how many times you want to repeat the code. So that's why we use for loop. So while loop, we use while loop when the number of repetition depends on a condition. Then we use while loop. And do while loop, were similar to while, but unsure the block executes at least once, then we use do while loop. Like if we don't know how many times we're going to be executing, but we want it to execute at least one time, then we're going to be using do while loop. So we'll have an example of this loops. So we'll just display a number from 1 to 10 inside. This is a basic example of loops, what we can do right now. I know this video is going to be pretty long, but please stick till the end. and try practicing it by yourself. The more you practice, the more you're gonna understand accordingly. If you have any doubts or any questions, feel free to comment down below. So in this body tag, we're going to be adding an h1, and in this h1 we'll just say, okay, this is a loop example. On top, I just even changed the title right now. Loop example over here in h1, I'm going to be saying. So over here, we're going to be writing button on click. Over here, I'll just say display number. I'll be opening these brackets. After this, I'll close my own bracket. Oh, sorry. And over here, I could say inside the button display numbers. In this bracket, I'll just say, I'll close this bracket too. 1 to 10, because we're just saying display numbers to 1 to 10 over here. So after this button, I'll be adding a paragraph over here. Paragraph ID. Inside the paragraph ID, we'll be saying loop result. We'll be closing this accordingly. Then we'll close this bracket, and inside our bracket's going to be closed. So after this paragraph ID, we're going to be adding the script tag. RIPT script tag. So in the script tag, we're going to be writing our main JavaScript. So over here, we'll just say function display numbers. I'll be opening this bracket, and then I'm going to be opening the big bracket over here. So over here, I'll just say let result equal to. I'll be opening these two brackets over here, and we'll open a semicolon over here. We'll go on the next line. Over here, we'll just say for let I is equal to 1. This is a condition over here, because this is loops over here, it's gonna have a condition. So now let's say let I is equal to 1 semicolon over here. I is less than equal to 10. Add a semicolon over here. I plus plus, we're gonna say, okay, it's gonna increment by 1. Then we're gonna be closing this bracket over here. We'll add another bracket over here. Over here, we're gonna be saying, okay, the result increment plus equal to I plus in semicolon. We're gonna increment it, and we're gonna be writing it inside these columns. Now the semicolon inside these columns. So after this, we're gonna be closing our bracket accordingly. This is just an increment loop. Is just gonna be repeating it till 10 times. We're just saying that, okay, you just want to repeat it 10 times, not more than that, not less than that. So we're gonna be saying get element by ID over here, and inside the bracket, inside this bracket, we're gonna be saying, okay, loop result. We're gonna be closing this, and after this, we're gonna be adding dot, and we're gonna be saying, okay, text content. Inside this, we're going to be saying text content equal to, over here I'll say result dot trim, over here 2 brackets, and we'll add a semicolon over here. So text content, I had to add this in the same line. Oh, sorry, add a dot over here. Dot, yes, because it just wants, I want to be writing in the same line. It had to be in the same line. I thought it came in the other line. So this is how we're going to be doing it. So after this, we're going to be closing our script tag accordingly. We'll just remove this extra spaces what we have over here. So we're going to be saving it. Let's see, it's written over here 3 problems over here. So let's check those out. So after reviewing the code, I was seeing that I didn't add bracket over here. So I just added a bracket over here, and now let's save our code, and let's go on our web page what we have created over here. Now I'll refresh it. Now loop example it's going to be saying it's okay. Loop example display number 1 to 10. I'm going to be clicking over here because we added a condition that not less than 10, not more than 10. I'll be clicking it and it's going to be telling 1 to 10 numbers. Let's see. Now it displayed all of those numbers accordingly: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I hope you understood this, and please practice. And if you have any questions or something, please feel free to comment down below. We'll always be there to help you out. You could have a review of this code one time. You could check this code out, but if you need the code, if you anytime need the code, you could just comment down below. We'll be providing you with the code. So thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next videos, and thank you for watching.